Every offshore installation is a confined and self-contained community. Everyone there relies on everyone else to carry out their work effectively and, above all else, safely. Although rules and regulations may vary between different countries and different operators, the importance of safety is universal. If you are going offshore for the first time, you may not be used to the strict working procedures and the commitment to safety that is essential to offshore life. Nevertheless, you will be expected to comply with these practices very quickly. Start off right by obeying all the instructions on boarding and alighting from the helicopter. Once you have collected your baggage, make your way to the reception point. There you will be assigned a room or a cabin, also a muster station and a survival craft. These will be shown to you soon after your arrival. The muster stations are where everyone gathers should there be an emergency on the platform.
Mate, it's your first time on the platform? Yes, it is. So you'll be in cabin 39B and would you be in the cinema at 1 o'clock for a safety briefing? Thank you.
Once you have found your room, and before you unpack, check to see where your life jacket or survival suit is stored. You may well have been instructed in its use on shore, and this information will be repeated at your offshore safety briefing. It shouldn't take long to unpack, because as all installations have laundries, you don't need to take much personal clothing offshore. Shortly after your arrival, you must attend a safety briefing. This may include a film or slideshow, as well as a talk by the safety officer. You will be given a safety booklet, if you haven't already received one, containing the essential points of the briefing. These include what to do in an emergency and the signals that indicate when an emergency is taking place.
A video of the platform, it was made on here.
In offshore oil fields, where extremely low temperatures are commonplace, survival suits may be a legal requirement for abandonment. Listen carefully to everything that you are told, even if you think you know what's going to be said, because the precise details of where to go and what to do vary from installation to installation. To take just one example, there are many different types of life jackets, and they are all capable of keeping you afloat, but only provided that they're correctly worn. So it's essential to listen carefully to the briefing. The status signals also vary from installation to installation, but their importance does not vary. You must obey their requirements immediately and without question. It is essential that you fully understand what these signals mean.
Okay, gents, that more or less.
The safety officer will always end the briefing with a question and answer session.
Whereabouts do we get eye protection on the platform?
Glasses.
If there is anything you don't understand or are not clear about, be sure to ask. Soon afterwards, you will be shown the way to your muster station and your lifeboat. Generally, the muster stations are very close to the lifeboats, but this is not always so. You may find the layout of the platform a bit bewildering at first, but don't be hesitant about asking questions. Offshore, everyone depends on everyone else, and for everyone there was once a first visit. Make sure you know how to get to your muster station. There you'll find an ample supply of life jackets or survival suits, so that you don't need to go to your cabin if you're near the muster station when the alarm sounds. The lifeboat will be totally enclosed and powered by diesel engine. There are several types. Each installation will have specially trained crews whose job it will be to lower and operate the lifeboats in an emergency. All you will have to do is to follow their instructions. You will find that no one should ever leave the accommodation without wearing a helmet, safety boots, and other protective clothing. Take care how you walk about the installation. Where you have a choice, choose stairs and walkways sheltered from the weather. Take your time and hold on to handrails so as to avoid slipping or falling. Storms can blow up quickly at sea and can make walking treacherous, particularly at night. Offshore, much of the accommodation is maintained at a slight positive pressure in order to keep out any oil or gas vapors. This means airlocks and heavy doors that may be awkward until you become used to them. Always close them behind you. For the sake of cleanliness, you will be required to take off your boots when entering accommodation areas. Your new colleagues will waste no time in assigning you your duties, and they will expect a high standard of workmanship and a commitment to safety. When potentially hazardous work needs to be done, all installations have a permit to work system. This is a legal requirement. The precise details of the permit to work system will vary from installation to installation. The system will be explained to you, as will the various safety aspects of your particular job. If in doubt, ask. In the offshore environment, the range of potentially hazardous operations is very large. To give a few examples, any work involving welding or electrical equipment, any work in enclosed areas, wherever radioactive materials are to be used, or where scaffolding needs to be erected. Also, when any hoisting or over-the-side work is to take place. All these will need special permits. If you are in any doubt whether a permit is needed, ask the safety officer. The systems employed for granting these permits are not identical, but their objectives are. Firstly, to ensure that all work is carried out with the correct safety procedures. Secondly, to ensure that the installation management know precisely where and when any potentially dangerous work is taking place. This is so that it can be coordinated with all other activities and monitored as necessary.
Okay, could I ask you to initial the safety requirements for me, please? Just so that you've read.
It is a legal requirement that you comply with all the details of your permit to work.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Bye.
The control room is the nerve center of the installation. It is there that all operations are supervised.
Stable 5.
The people there need to know about everything that is going on. You may be required to file a copy of your permit to work there. Your strict adherence to the times and places specified on your permit will be taken for granted. Check carefully again all safety requirements before you start any work. Don't change your mind or work beyond your allocated time without submitting a further request. You may have no idea what other operations are taking place in your immediate vicinity. It needs only one foolish action by one man to endanger the entire installation and the lives of all those living on it. Welding and burning operations are a high fire risk, so extreme care must be exercised at all times. For this type of work, there will always be one man standing by whose sole job is to ensure the safety of the operation. All the safe working practices learned onshore apply offshore, but more so. Entering enclosed spaces for whatever reason is an operation that needs an extreme awareness of safety. Always have someone standing by with breathing apparatus. Eye protection and ear protection are vital where needed. Remember, when working on or near machinery, take off any personal effects, such as rings, watches, chains, and pendants. Loose clothing can also be dangerous. Don't take any chances. Personal protection will be provided. Be sure to use it. Shifts are long and the work can be arduous, so extra care needs to be taken towards the end of each shift. Never throw anything over the side. There may be ships or divers or people you cannot see working beneath you on the installation. Good housekeeping is vital offshore. In the restricted space of an installation, any piece of waste or rag left behind can become a hazard. No job can be considered complete until you have thoroughly cleaned up your workplace and have had your permit to work signed off as finished.
Sånn, det var fint, takk skal du ha. Ok, fin røyre.
Lifeboat drills are held regularly to check the readiness of both men and equipment. Everyone is expected to participate in them. You must respond immediately to the alarm. Wear warm clothing, helmet and safety boots. If you are in or near your cabin, put on your life jacket or survival suit and proceed in an orderly way to your muster station. If you are working, switch off all non-essential equipment. Leave nothing behind you that could endanger the platform. Proceed to your muster station. The importance of learning to do this calmly cannot be overemphasized. Participate positively in all safety drills. If you fail to prepare, you prepare to fail. Once at the muster station, follow the procedure required by the installation you are on. In a real emergency, everyone will be under stress, and the better you know where to go and what you have to do, the better it will be for everyone. Listen to and comply with all instructions from the muster supervisor. These exercises are part and parcel of the offshore life, and although emergencies happen only very rarely, it is important to be prepared for them. Where survival suits are used, helmets are not worn. On a normal drill, you will get into the lifeboat, sit down and strap yourself in. Should the lifeboat need to be launched, you must keep strapped in at all times. This is to ensure the vessel's self-righting characteristic. Once inside the lifeboat, the coxswain's word is law. The actual operation of the lifeboat is in the hands of the coxswain and his specially trained crew. But there is no harm in you familiarizing yourself with the operation of the lifeboat. The order to abandon the installation can only be given by the person in charge, who supervises the lifeboat exercise from the control room. You will soon learn who this person is. Offshore, no one stands much on rank. Each person makes his own contribution to the running of the installation. So, in general, you will find that although the top man commands respect, he will be approachable.
Okay, Dave, that's the end of the lifeboat drill. If you stand everyone down, please.
Attention all personnel, attention all personnel. The lifeboat drill is now complete.
Take the trouble to learn the layout of your installation, but don't go into hazardous areas without asking. Drilling operations are particularly dangerous to people who don't know what they're doing. So unless it is essential for you to be there, don't venture onto the drilling floor. Every installation has fire and gas detection systems and firefighting equipment. In the main, firefighting is left up to specially trained teams who carry out regular drills. However, if you should see a fire, first raise the alarm, and then, if you can do so without endangering yourself, try to put it out. Make sure that you know which type of fire extinguisher to use on which type of fire. Offshore, smoking is only permitted in specially designated areas, and no alcohol is allowed at all. These regulations are absolute. Any infringement will lead to instant dismissal. No drugs are permitted either. If you need to take medication prescribed by a doctor, let the medical or safety officer know. If you have any queries at all, talk to those in authority. Your well-being is in their interest. Working offshore demands a high awareness of safety. Use the appropriate protective equipment and at all times follow safe procedures and practices. Always be sure to stick to the rules and regulations that cover your particular job. Be sure to double-check that machinery you will be working on has been turned off and properly isolated. Remember, good housekeeping is vital. Clear up after yourself. Don't leave it to others. Keep all workshops, floors and stairways clean. Any debris can become a hazard. Avoid working with worn-out or old equipment. If you have any doubt, request a replacement. Your awareness of safety should not end once you leave the installation. While onshore, take full advantage of any safety or survival courses offered to you. These may include helicopter underwater escape training. Offshore, everyone depends on each other, so be aware of safety, and not only your own. Keep your eyes open for any potential hazard. A great deal of effort has gone into making the offshore environment safe. Incidents occur only very rarely. Take the time needed to do your work properly and safely. Safety can only be achieved by informed, alert and skillful people who have respect not only for themselves, but also for the well-being of others. Be sure that you play your full part in the safe operation of your own installation.